This week on The Proving Grounds, Arena goes Wonka?
Willy Wonka?
Wonka, Wonka, Wonka. What happens at Magic 30 makes it to The Proving Grounds. Wizards crowns a new world champ, and one more meld for the bros. Welcome to Magic Proving Grounds, the only Magic the Gathering podcast that proves just because you want to go to Magic 30 doesn't mean you can get there. I'm your host, moderator Dave, and with me this week is co-host Ben.
Present and accounted for.
And other Dave.
I am here.
Not
at Magic 30.
Other than not making it to Magic 30, what did you do this week?
I took place. I went ahead and did the Magic 30 draft to fill in my Magic 30 hole. It was kind of fun. I wouldn't say that I loved it, but
do you consider your Magic 30 hole sufficiently filled?
No, I need something else to fill my holes.
Bummer.
That's what she said.
I know. I was like, is nobody going to say it?
I had to.
No, so it was cool after that was like not set packs of cards. It just seemed like everyone else got cooler stuff than I did.
So this was a phantom draft with a bunch of cards from all the years of Magic, or what was it exactly?
I believe it is every set that is on Arena.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because like I saw a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons cards, or the Forgotten Realms cards, however you want to consider those. But I saw some other ones too. I don't know exactly what was in there because it seemed like it was a relatively large card pool. I don't think I played against a lot of the same cards more than twice, especially when you get into what they had in like the rare and the mythic spot. But whatever draft I was in, nobody was drafting red because I had probably like 25 red removal spells.
Nice.
And then I went undefeated for my first like 4 or 5 matches. And then it just like all of a sudden the game was like, whoa, this is going way too easy for you.
Throw you a curveball.
And yeah, then I got mana screwed. And then next match I got mana flooded. And the next match I misplayed. That one was on me, but it is what it is. I did well enough in it to get my gems back plus 100. So I'm all right with it.
Cool. I could not make myself partake. I went ahead and decided not to get the virtual pass, and then couldn't make myself spend my draft token or the gold. Had enough. Didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
So didn't partake in that particular event. What about you, Ben?
I did not partake.
Yeah, I just assumed that since I draft often enough, I would be able to get far enough to at least get my resources back.
Yeah, that's cool.
I am absolute trash at drafts, so I was not willing to spend that many resources to not do well.
I didn't end up drafting a single rare. I know that like every rare in my pack was absolutely awful for drafts. And I was just like, man, I'm going to be playing against people with all these crazy Mordekainens and everything else, and I'm going to be coming at them with commons and uncommons. But
you seem to do all right.
Yeah, I did well enough for what I got. I really wish I'd gotten a bomb, but I didn't end up getting any bombs to really like win the match with. That was the big issue in the third game that I lost. Was it was just like, okay, like I'm making this work, but he dropped like 2 bombs. I managed to get rid of them, but then that was all my removal, and it was just like I got nothing to win the game with.
Yeesh.
Sometimes that's just how it shakes out. So what'd you do this week?
Still trying to learn the MTGO client mostly. I did go play Paper Magic finally, and I got second place. Lost to Amulet Titan.
Oh no!
The guy that won.
Just to
Amulet
clarify,
Titan,
there you played Modern, right?
Yes, Modern. Yes, yeah. I lost Amulet Titan to the guy that played Amulet Titan and just won a 1K a couple towns over from me. So he's pretty good.
Nice. What deck were you on?
I was playing Crashing Footfalls.
Ah, yes. That's a fun deck.
The 4-color with the Leyline Binding variant.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. Oh, well, I've been playing some Modern on MTGO as well, which you can check out on our Twitch channel. Links in the show notes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that, or?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, but I mean, we're training up. We're learning the ins and outs of Modern together, one at a time. And the idea was that if we're like, somebody will play the deck on Fridays. So this time I did because I knew the meta a little bit better than other Dave, or moderator Dave. Yeah. And I got trounced with the Living End deck. People are hardcore.
I scooped after, because so you play 5. Like when you play a league, you play 5 games, and then that's your record. I scooped after 4. I was like, no, because I didn't win a single match. I was 0-4, so it's like there's no rewards for playing the 5th one, and I was just done playing that deck, to be honest.
Is Living End still in the meta?
It is. It's at the lower end of the meta. It shifted down.
I thought it had started to get pushed out, but I don't pay that much attention to Modern.
It did, and theoretically it should be doing better after the Yorion banned, but I was just not playing it very good, apparently. I made a bunch of punts based on the client. Like I passed.
Does the Yorion band, do they open up for other bands, or do they have their own act? How does that work? Are they the headliner?
Yeah. I mispronounced ban. I put a D on the end. Yeah, they open up for Coldplay. Usually.
Oh, God. Ugh. Coldplay to the ground. I hate them.
Shots fired.
All right, Imagine Dragons. We're good.
There you go.
Yeah. Put Reed Duke and Coldplay and Imagine Dragons in a room together and light it on fire.
Yeah.
Oof.
Don't actually do that. That's rude. I don't want anybody to get hurt. If you could just burn their music in their online presence.
You just got to make sure they have an escrow window or whatever it's called. The one there where you get out, Let's give them one of those. Good.
Egress,
yeah. Not escrow. Thank you.
I was like, escrow?
Are they buying the house they're fixing to set on fire?
Yeah. They got to be within the escrow window.
I also made a new historic deck over the weekend too.
Oh yeah,
because the mono red deck has been underperforming lately.
Yep.
Blue and red has really just kind of been pushing it out, and so I was thinking about what best counters that blue red deck that I've been playing against 90% of the time, and I decided to go with something that just wrecks people's hands.
Nice.
So got a red black. Just absolutely destroys people's hands with IOK and
Thoughtseize
and Croxa and Liliana.
Yep, I was going to say.
And just going right after their hand.
Nice.
Getting some wins, are you?
I'm doing pretty well against that blue-red deck, at least, which is still what I match up against like 80% of the time. So
naturally.
It's not ideal for everything that I match up against, but it's been getting the job done better than that mono red deck was doing.
And sometimes it's good to go against the meta because then you get some wins.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I've always hated playing against decks like that. Like for me, like as an aggro player, it's never bothered me that much. I can empty my hand out quick enough. But the idea of people just coming for my hand constantly does frustrate me. So I'd always told myself I won't play that way.
I'm not going to be that person.
But that blue red deck, man, it was really pissing me off. And finally, I was like, I'm just going to build the counter to that deck.
Yeah.
We're just going to. I'm going to come straight for everything you're doing.
You either die a hero or become the thing you hate the most. Turn one Thoughtseize. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, turn one Blood Crypt Thoughtseize. Down to 16 already. Oh, and Shoulder It. I put Shoulder It in there just to try and give me like some late game top end, a way to win that's not direct damage or attacking. Yeah. And she's a house, man.
Yeah, especially since that deck's drawing a lot of cards, right?
Yeah.
Does work.
Shuts their game plan down. Oh, it's not good enough. It doesn't have an ETB.
Man.
Hey, you and your modern players over there.
I know. They are kind of snobby when it comes to that.
I saw them ripping that new the 7.5 that can also be a 3.3.
The flesh gouger.
They're like, there's no way this makes it into modern. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this card is so good. Maybe it doesn't make it into modern, but you don't need to come out here and shit on it just because it doesn't fit into the one thing that you play.
Yeah.
And then Commander players jumped in and was like, there are better options for Commander than this card. I don't.
Yeah, let me like the card for the standard or multi-format purposes, not necessarily your one format that you play.
Yeah.
Remember, these cards are made for many people.
It's a format for everyone.
Because I think that card is going to be a staple in standard.
Yeah.
Are there any ways to blink creature spells at this point? Creatures? Because if you play the prototype cost, put it down the board.
If you blink it comes back as a 7.5.
Yeah.
As of right now, I heard some rumblings that Magic is going to put out a rule specific to prototype, but they have not yet.
So about blinking?
Yeah.
So you can standard, you could do that. It's like a persist effect where when it goes to the graveyard, it does not. You can do that on it.
Well, if it doesn't go to the graveyard, it wouldn't come back.
Well, it actually hits the graveyard, I think, and then comes back out.
If it hits the graveyard and comes back, then it would come back as 7.5 currently. I don't think they'll make a role specific for prototype just because then prototype gets real confusing, especially 10 years from now when it's not in the standard.
Well, that's why they freaking removed walls can't attack from the rules text, because it was the only creature type that had like rules text not written on the card associated with it. And that's hella confusing if you're not like privy to that particular. Nobody reads the comprehensive rules. They just don't. So
I think they will make it so that blinking it brings it in as 7.5. I'm not sure. Like, I think if your deck is already doing something like that, then it's fine. But I'm not sure you go in building for that.
Yeah,
because then unless you're building around it sufficiently, then your combo is pretty easy to disrupt, a counterspell or removal.
Yeah, and another note that makes it good is that sometimes when you have these combo decks that combo something in and cheat it in, if you draw that card, it's usually just a dead card in your hand. And this at least gives you an alternate casting cost, so it's not dead in your hand.
Yeah, I love these prototype cards.
Yeah, that seems like a
just talking about the mechanic. Having an early and a late game is huge for a card. So, like, this being effective, both if I draw it on turn 7 and if I draw it on turn 3, it's a boom to the card for sure.
Part of why cycling is so powerful is that you have an early option and a late option. Options are great.
You used to get so mad at that cycling deck that I had.
Yeah. Well, it's uninteractable, cycling is, so it kind of makes you mad.
Yeah. No, everyone, like, that deck made everyone mad. Yeah. As soon as I saw the preview for Eternal Witness, and I was like, I'm making a cycling deck.
Yes.
And everybody's going to hate it.
And everyone did. So you guys want to move on, talk about a little bit of the news?
Sure.
Newsies. So did you guys hear about the new Wonkified golden booster packs?
Did you get a golden ticket inside?
No, they're golden.
The packs are golden?
They're made from actual gold?
Well, I mean, digitally, I suppose. They're arena packs. So how it goes is you buy with either gems or gold, 10 booster packs? Let me look it up.
You can't just win booster packs as part of your...
No, you have to actually pay for them with in-game currency.
Okay.
And then you get a special golden booster pack. And this golden booster pack contains 6 cards, all of which are rare or mythic from a standard legal set and have duplicate protection. So you're always going to be getting cards you need to complete your collection in the rare or mythic slot.
Okay.
So let's see. I want to get I heard it was 10, but I'm looking through the article.
Yeah, 10 steps. 10 steps. To purchase 10 packs, you get a golden pack.
So what do you guys think about this?
I still won't buy packs.
It would be better if the golden packs could have wild cards in them. They're not going to do that.
If it was a golden pack with 6 rare or mythic rare wild cards, then it'd be all about it.
I would. But otherwise,
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to complain about like if buying packs is the way you accumulate your cards. It's hard to complain about getting more free stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is not for me because I use my gold to draft and turn my gold into gems. Mm-hmm. But I think for the people who do buy packs, this is great. Like it's a great addition.
It's free, so
yeah, like it's extra stuff for doing the stuff that a lot of those people were doing already. And so I do think this is a great addition, even though it is not for me and it is not going to get me to buy packs.
Yeah. So it's not going to get anybody to change their purchase behavior, you think. But if you're already doing the thing that you're doing, then
it's a bonus.
Real well for you.
It might change some people's there's like people who don't draft or don't use their coins to draft. The only other purpose you have for your coins is buying packs or saving it to buy stuff out of the store. Mm-hmm. So, some of the people who just buy stuff out of the store who don't draft or don't use their coins in their tournaments or whatnot may start buying packs instead. But every time there's a sleeve or an avatar in that daily store, you can't resist it.
You're all over it. Have you bought any of the human gamer avatars?
I didn't buy any of those. I'll probably wait till they appear in the daily store for 50% of what they are now.
Yeah, same. No, I think it's cool. Like I said, hard to complain about. Things that are free for doing, surgically something you would be doing anyways. I don't typically buy packs because I prefer to waste my gold not winning in draft. But when I have, I've always at least bought 10 because only like a wild card that I'm looking for to put together a deck or upgrade my red deck that I run through Explorer. So
if they ever make a set that's called like the Hills of Dominaria or something, I will buy it just so I can say there's gold in them there hills.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah. All right. So another thing that happened this weekend was Magic 30.
Oh my gosh. I'm so surprised.
I know. It was like almost like somebody was supposed to be there and then like, I don't know. Look, anyways, let's move on.
I'm sorry. I took a nap on a truck and woke up close to home and I just said, I'm going home. I'm done with this.
Yeah, you had a rough time.
Yeah. It was a rough ride. So
I just want to sleep in my bed.
That's fair, my friend. Let's talk about the first little thing that really hit me hard for Magic 30 was they announced previewed, is that the right word? The Dawn of the Phyrexian Invasion official cinematic trailer.
The video, yes.
Yes.
I did not watch. Do I need to?
Watch it real quick. It's only like 4 minutes.
Yeah. We'll hit pause. Everybody.
I just look at my live reacts.
Pause.
I'll watch it again while you're watching it.
Is that Elf Nisa?
It is.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I was watching on my tiny phone.
That's why I said that's why the comment under there says Nissa's dead.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Man, they just need to get Idris Elba to play Teferi like 100%.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was like, it doesn't sound like Idris Elba. I'm so...
I know. I always imagined he would sound like that. Like the British accent.
Oh, that's creepy. The goose starts running out of the eyeballs.
So, is he at Teleria? Is that what that is? Johnny. I am now a robot. So what did he think was going to happen?
Does this mean Johnny's killed 2 planeswalkers now?
Thus far, I suppose.
Completed.
Dude, he's like a video game boss. Johnny is.
Yeah.
He's got like moveset and everything. The Jaya Ballard. Stained glass. He's not dead. He just fell out a window. He's not a diehard villain. He's a planeswalker. Is this his time machine?
Seems that way. Which is weird. They just have a time machine, like just hanging out wherever this is.
He's like, I'll never go into time, but I'll never travel in time, I swear. But I'm going to make this time machine just in case. Or is that where, did he have to go back to Teleria to get Urza's time machine?
Yeah.
Is that what that was, actually? I bet.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was covered in the story last time. But it's someone else's chair or whatever. I forget what it's called.
Gotcha. That's cool. So now that's like the pre-Daunt Brothers War, because that was Teferi going back in time to the Brothers War era.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, so is Nissa dead?
I want to have confirmation about that. Like, it's kind of messed up for them to just put that out there and be like, this looks like Nissa, seems like Nissa.
I mean, it's definitely Nissa, because they seem to be, like, when Teferi's like, were you followed, you know?
Right,
like,
they were in cahoots. Right.
And they talk about the Gatewatch, and it looks enough like her. Like, that has to be Nissa.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The question is...
Yeah, is she dead?
Is she dead?
Was she playing possum?
Been knocked out.
Because you don't, see her get stabbed or anything. You just see him walk in with the body and throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
So she could just be unconscious.
I think it'd be pretty messed up to kill two main planeswalkers this close together. 3 if you count Tamio, but that was far enough back and she's not that main.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like eventually you kind of have to kill some of your main planeswalkers to make a story.
That's true. Because I guess Nissa's more main than Jaya Ballard is.
Yeah, and to add some gravitas to your story, because otherwise there's never any threats, right? If nobody dies, then nobody important dies, or nobody who's well liked dies, then
you got to have stakes.
Yeah, the Superman problem.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Nissa is one of the ones, she's popular enough, but also there's enough planeswalkers in green that you don't really need her.
Yeah,
true.
But they'll bring her back. The same. I mean, they killed Elspeth. They brought her back. They bring planeswalkers back. Like
Dominaria doesn't have an underworld that she can escape from. She dead if she dead. How does this particular cinematic stack up to the War of the Spark cinematic, which I think has, for at least in my opinion, been probably the top cinematic in
only because of the Linkin Park cover.
Well, I mean, that might have had something to do with it. But it's still pretty cool.
So there are a couple things in this video that I've noticed too that I want to talk about. The first one is wherever it is that they're fighting, that stained glass window with Jaya Ballard
seems out of place.
Yeah, like where are you at that they built a stained glass window to Jaya?
Yeah, how far after her death is this, or did they do it before she died?
Latinam, where Jonah hangs out. He just sits there and watches it because he's weird.
So Johnny in the video clearly casts Lightning Helix, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the spell that he's casting
with his hand.
Yeah, when he attacks Teferi.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Isn't there something in the story where he gives up Lightning Helix? Like, isn't a Johnny Revenant into a Johnny? I forget what the next one was. But isn't there some part of him that gives up casting Lightning Helix for some reason?
Because he color shifts. Maybe he color shifted again when he became a Phyrexian. Maybe it's not Lightning Helix. Maybe it's I don't know, Train Life or whatever.
But it really plays into the story if I'm remembering that correctly. But I don't remember that fully. If I'm right, and there's a reason that he gave up Lightning Helix, that was protecting people or something. If I remember, he went from being vengeful to being a protector, and that was what made him transition away from casting Lightning Helix.
Yeah, he formerly had.
And then him casting it again as a Phyrexian shows that the Phyrexian has completely changed his mindset.
Yeah, so he formerly had access to red mana, but lost access to it after learning that rage doesn't bring peace. So he's probably lost that ability as a Phyrexian. He's okay with rage.
There's no peace.
Right, no peace.
Phyrexia.
But that I found that interesting, that at one point he gave up red and Lightning Helix, and now he's back to it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
That is a nice catch. Did not see that. That's the thing that's cool about having a card game with the lore and how it intertwines mechanically. You get those nice touches. Little Easter eggs when you're keen on both sides of the lore plus mechanics.
Yep.
Very cool. I like the video. Nobody gave me a straight answer. Is this better or worse than the War of the Spark cinematic? Does this unseat War of the Spark for best cinematic?
War of the Spark got me excited to play Magic again. So, and I think War of the Spark will always be the more popular one, even if it's only because of the link.
Yeah. It had some cool stuff too. Dak Faden got it in it and then got murdered.
That's your
barometer.
Is Dak Faden in it? Yes or no? No.
Did he die?
Did he die? Terrible. Dak Faden's not there.
Yeah, Dak Faden didn't die in it. It's not as good. Well, what can I say? I'm a big fan of stabbing Dak Faden.
So who killed Dak Faden?
Oh, who stabbed him?
I thought it was just
a zombie. Yeah.
Just a random zombie. Did you cosplay as the zombie that stabbed Dak Faden? Like pretty.
You just walk around with a red hand. Like
you just. Do you know who I am?
I'm the zombie that killed Dak Faden in the War of the Spark cinematic trailer.
Duh.
Just get a Kolpesh with a Dak Faden dummy on the end of it and just walk around with it.
There you go. Perfect.
So I watched that clip again just to make sure that is definitely Lightning Helix that he's casting.
Sick. All right. Well, speaking of cosplay, you guys want to talk about the cosplay contest that happened at Magic 30?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So hats off to putting diffusers on your head and winning $3,000.
Yeah, we have a fan of the show, apparently. They got some ideas.
Honorary fan of the show, Dark Pact Cosplay, totally brought the house down with this like incredible Ashiok cosplay. I mean,
yeah, it's
legit.
It is really good. It was my favorite, definitely, that I saw from the cosplay contest. And,
it's just I can't even like begin to describe how amazing it is. It's just there's so many layers of that cosplay.
Like I imagine it's got to be so hard to get that Ashiok face to look like Ashiok's face with the smoke and everything, and then for him to have actual smoke coming out of it. It's shout out to Dark Pact Cosplay. It's incredible cosplay.
It's like that. The headpiece alone is so intricate. The face mask that comes out, because Ashiok as a character doesn't actually have a face. It's just like a void that smokes. So the way that he did that is just like, it's very awesome. I have spent way too much time looking at this cosplay and just finding new things that are just cool about it. Like, very cool. Hats off to him. Did you guys see any other cosplays?
I really feel like watching it too. I wonder where his head is at. Like the moments where I was watching it, I was like, did you cut off part of your head to do this?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's kind of like reality breaking, because you know that there has to be a head there, but it doesn't really look like there's a head there. There's no.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's reality breaking. The fact that this person has to wear their green armband in the photos for like you get into the event.
I mean,
you have to, but like, I want a picture without that, because this is like awesome.
There were other cosplays that I liked, but I don't want to name them without crediting the person who did them, and I don't remember.
I might be able to help you.
Which one? The Sarah Angel one I really liked.
Ooh, okay, I can't help you with that one. But I believe second place best of show went to Tasha, Dungeons and Dragons Planeswalker. The cosplayer's name was Amy Does Cosplay.
The Sarah Angel was Zanaid Beckham at ZBeck.
I just found it too. I think it's Zanaide.
Yeah.
Perhaps. It was a Nide Beckham. Goes by Z-Bex online.
Nice.
Incredible.
It is really good.
I
just can't stop looking at that Ashiok costume.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the mannerisms that the cosplayer is using while they're posing on the stage is very reminiscent of what I would imagine Ashiok moving like.
Very otherworldly.
That's great.
Nightmarish, if you will.
Worth it.
The Atraxa Voice of the Praetor cosplay that's been floating around. Really cool.
Amy does cosplay did Tasha the Witch Queen, which I really like that one too.
Yes.
Atraxa Praetor's voice was Happy Lady Morgan.
Yes. Well, I like that one a lot. That one has a lot of intricate foam work in the wings and the headpiece as well.
And then I also liked, I can't say the name of the character, Jiang Yangu, the Planeswalker. He has the dog.
Yeah.
Maui. Yeah, that cosplay was really good too by Mixo F. Milty.
Nice.
Mix of Milty, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. Hey, can you put those tweets in the show notes so that we can put them in the...
I'm on Facebook.
Oh, can you... Dang it. Okay. People like Facebook, right?
I can probably use this to find some links.
Okay, now let's talk about the $500,000 elephant in the room. Let's talk about the World Championship. Did you guys tune into the World Championship?
I did.
Oh my! Are we busting the nobody watched it bit? Did we finally do it?
Yeah,
I guess I didn't watch it. So
it's the World Championship. I had to watch it. There was a moment where it's like, do I not watch it for the bit or do I watch it? And watching it, won the day. I tuned in a little bit on day 1 and day 2, but on day 3, I was here for basically the whole time. I took a little nap in the middle and then was back at it. Man, that final game, it was it was best of 2 out of 3 matches, and they played 9 games in a row. That was
matches were 1-1, and then inside the third match, the games were 1-1.
Yeah,
so
it was something else. I don't want to say it was too much magic, but oh my goodness, it was a real.
It was a nail biter.
I was going to say butt clincher, but nail biter's probably
either one. I will say that I like the fact that it seemed like Nathan Stewart was always winning game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ellie Cassis was doing would sideboard in and, seemed to have countered what he was doing. And every single match, it's crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was real. Ellie Cassis is a real chill dude.
He was. He was you could see the nervousness on the Nathan's face, but Ellie, he was cold as a cucumber the whole time.
Yeah, man. I just know there was 2 key points in that last 3 matches, the title match, if you will, that really, really got me. The point where he did a trigger on AO where he didn't get nothing.
We whiffed. That lost in that game.
And
ultimately the match.
Yeah. If he had picked the other trigger where he put counters on creatures, do you think he would have won the match, or was he just
how many creatures did he have at that point? I don't remember if he had
3 or 4.
Okay.
I think he had a couple of tokens from Wedding Announcement, and then maybe an Irritai and another creature.
I think Nathan ended up just Infernal Grasping it or something, cut down or something.
Yeah.
All of his creatures after that anyway.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly the right sequence, but yeah, it was definitely
It was, I guess what I'm trying to get at was that just there was nothing he could have done. He made the right play and he just whiffed.
Yeah,
and
he just whiffed. Yeah.
How it is. Yeah. That sucked. And then the last game he played, he only made it to 3 lands. And then just really couldn't do nothing. That happens, but man, that is not when you want it to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was good. I really appreciated the coverage. I think that Marshall and Paul are the commentators, and they are very good together. They've done it in the past together, and I think that they handled the finals very, very well. That was really. And then also on the other end, the other commentators, they kind of switch off. They were also really good. So I thought the production overall was really an excellent. I can't complain.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Top notch from Wizards. Best we've seen in a while.
I did want to say when I was watching it, I was voting for. I was rooting for Julian Wellman, who brought an off meta deck and was like killing it through standard, and unfortunately kind of bombed the Explorer portion of it. Which ended up him taking an 8th place win, but which is great with a great achievement. But it seemed like in the beginning when he was 6-0, 7-0 or whatever, he was going to roll the tournament. But then they got to the Explorer portion and his deck wasn't mono blue spirits, because that's basically all Explorer was.
Yeah. And then Nathan Stour was the only one that brought a Grixis deck to the standard.
Specifically because it combated the Esper decks. Yep.
Pretty much the same reason that I started playing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice when you bring a non-meta deck, or you try to build a deck specifically to counter one deck, and then it shows it pays off.
Yeah, because it was seriously like the Esper is 80 or 60 to 70% of the meta.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was a lot. It's like too much Esper in this tournament.
The semifinals was just mostly Esper mirror matches. It was a bit much.
That was part of the reason. Like a lot of times, I'll go out of my way to watch these, even though they interfere with football.
Yeah.
And part of when I saw the 68, I think it was 68% Esper. I was just like, I don't want to watch a bunch of Esper decks play against each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the finals made up for it. If it's 2 Esper decks, I probably wouldn't even bothered.
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely Nathan making it to the final match really made it worth it. Had it been a Esper mirror, I don't know.
Yeah, I might go watch the final match.
You should. It's definitely worth the 9 games you sit through. At the very end, it's a real back and forth.
Yeah, like I said, it was just like the moment to moment of the tournament. Typically, if it's a varied enough field, I will watch the entire thing. And it was just like, I do not want to watch Esper all the time. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like when I was watching those replays, and it was years ago when Red Deck Wins was the one during like War of the Spark, I guess, or around there.
Is that when Seth Mansfield won it?
I think so. Yeah. And it was just all the time. You're like, oh, okay.
There were 3 big decks there. There was the Red Deck Wins. There was Fires of Invention, which Yellow Hat Nassif was playing. Can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Gabriel.
All I remembered was Yellow Hat.
Yeah.
And there was a Teamer Wilderness Reclamation deck.
Yeah, and it was just so
that mono red deck got so under that team deck that it ended up out of the tournament pretty quick.
Yeah. It's kind of like that this time around, honestly. But especially with Explorer, you think, oh, we got some variation Explorer, and then everybody's just on, mono blue spirits.
And that was Throne of Eldraine is when Seth Mansfield won it with red deck.
Okay.
Because that was Robber the Rich was the big.
Yep. Makes sense. Congratulations to Nathan Stour for winning Magic World Champions.
Congratulations to Nathan S.
Yeah.
For winning.
And I thought it was cool that the top 4 people get to be in all the events next year.
Yeah.
They earn their spot on the Pro Tour. That's cool. Has that always been that way? I haven't followed it closely for a long time.
So I don't know about recently, because they changed the tournament format so many times in the last decade that it's hard to keep track of. But I know prior to that, there was I think it was top 8 stayed on the Pro Tour.
So, obviously, Ellie Cassis, second place. Yuta Takahashi, who was last year's winner, placed 6th. So, still,
congrats.
I like it. I like him a lot.
I do too. He's a top-notch player. So, 6 ain't bad at all.
Oh, and my dude Greg Orange, I followed him for a little bit. He took 10th place with a blue-white control deck in standard, which I thought was pretty ballsy.
They did.
Yeah, so he's making it work.
One of the greatest moments in Magic streaming history. I forget which tournament it was. I want to say it was maybe after Theros, but it might be after that. It was when they were still doing everything from home, so people were live streaming from their house while they were playing.
Yeah.
In one of them, someone's roommate goes to use the bathroom behind them and doesn't shut the door, and so there's a full view of a guy taking a piss in the background.
Oh my
Photo
God.
bomb.
I literally just moved my desk because I noticed when me and Ben were streaming last week that if the door to the room I stream in is open, you see straight into my bathroom, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Yep,
It's
one
like-
of those situations. Huh?
I have like 2 dogs, and if you do not latch that door, they will like be barging in, and I'm like, "That's my nightmare to get on Twitch using the bathroom." So
Yeah,
moved.
you
my
like
desk.
step away real quick.
Yeah.
Dog bolts through right on camera.
So now it's pointing at a wall, so we're good to go.
Yeah, just one last thing on the production standpoint. I thought it was weird when they do the wide shot of the stage. Normally you'd have 2 people sitting there with some cards in front of them, but instead this year, and it might have been this way last year, I didn't watch it, but they had 2 computers just facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were just sitting on their computers across from their opponent. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Supposedly next year they're back in paper, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, they had people who couldn't travel playing, so I think that was why the focus on Arena this particular.
Yeah, I did realize that because I think Jakob Toth was not in country.
Yeah,
as an example. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice that they have that option now.
Yeah,
And
especially
Arena's not terrible to watch as far as like
trackability.
and stuff, so.
It's not bad.
I prefer it to MTGO.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Who doesn't prefer watching Arena over MTGO? Broadcast quality, the production quality, really good. Cedric, hats off to him. He was always
he's
enjoyable
fun.
when he was on camera interviewing people and talking to them. Great guy. Oh, finally, we made it.
I honestly don't understand how you didn't know we needed to take a boat. You said you walked to Benalia and rode the merchant wagon.
I don't know either. I just took off walking, trying to find you guys. Next thing I knew, I was in the city, met the trash merchant. Sometimes I just zone out. I don't know. And when I come to, I'm at a new place. I need to learn to pay attention more.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sometimes when boring people are talking, I wish I could just zone out and end up elsewhere.
Yeah, I guess it does have its perks sometimes.
Sorry I brought it up. We need to find one of these stones, and we need to hurry. We haven't seen a Phyrexian for a while, but they could be anywhere.
Yeah, maybe we could check out the market. Where is the market?
I think it might be over there. I remember there being lots of people this way the last time I was here.
See someone swinging their junk over there. Let's check it out.
Okay, guys, let me do the talking.
Step right up here. We have the wares you want and the wares you need.
Oh, hey, hi there, sir. Do you have any of them there power stones for sale?
Oh, I only sell gently used clothes and housewares, so I can't help you with that. I can, however, let you know that no one sells power stones. They're very hard to come by. Only one place got some. And I wish I had it, but it's in the mana rig. They don't ever give anything away. Ever. Okay, we'll buy 1 mana rig, please.
I'm pretty sure that's not how this works.
No, it's not. but I can give you some new clothes.
Okay, well, thanks for your time.
Well, we are definitely screwed. We are not leaving this place. So I guess it is time to shave Mo and try to blend in.
What?
Before we go too drastic, I have an idea. We're going to break into the mana rig and steal a power stone.
But do you guys want to move on and talk about some of the, one particular card and then maybe some others? That they announced over Magic 30?
Sure.
Because we have to resolve the final meld card because we were kind of left hanging. We hadn't been...
we were postulating about what it could be.
We were postulating, and we have to resolve who was closer and talk about it. So
the final meld card in Urza was blue and white, Mishra was black and red, and it just left lone green sitting there with no meld color. And Morrow had hinted that there would be one. So the new card is a Titania Voice of Gaia. Just 2 green and 1 colorless. Legendary creature elemental, 3/4 with reach. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can look it up. But basically, when you play a land from anywhere, or it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, you gain 2 life. And then during your upkeep, if there's 4 lands, you get to flip her if you also control the land named Argoth. And then she melds over. Becomes a star, vigilance, reach, trample, haste, legendary creature, elemental avatar, Titania Gaia incarnate. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands. When it enters the battlefield, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then you can pay 4 mana value. It's like 1 green, 3 colorless to put 4 1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. So you can turn lands into mans with that ability when you get her flipped. And you can do that, as early as turn 3? Theoretically?
Theoretically?
4. Yeah, as early as turn 4, because at the beginning of your upkeep. So you lay her on turn 3, and then on turn 4 at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have this Argoth land, then she would flip. So Argoth enters battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary green creature. I think Titania itself counts. And then you can tap that green, or you can tap and pay green, 2 colorless to create a 2/2 bear creature, then mill 3 cards. The milling helps you get to that land threshold in order to flip, where you have to have 4 lands. Pretty complicated, but also pretty powerful, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a neat, flavorful card. I think that other Dave had mentioned that Titania was an option.
Yeah, but we thought that it would mold with an artifact since the other ones do. But
yeah, which, it makes sense that it doesn't. And I'd like to point out that I was like, it has to do with Argoth. So I think the Daves get a half a point apiece.
The Daves prevail.
If we're keeping track.
Yeah. You combined your lore sensibility with Dave's gameplay sensibility, and then you pretty much guessed it. It's cool.
Part of mine is lore too. I'm not as knowledgeable on the lore as Dave is.
I don't know. I think it's a cool card. I think it's flavorful. It makes me want to do some kind of land recursion shenanigans. So,
I don't think this one is as powerful as the other ones, but this one is easier to get out, I'd think.
This is also...
So let me ask you this on this one, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Is this better as a modern card than it is a standard card?
Maybe? I don't know.
3 for a 3/4. Doesn't die to bolt.
Yeah.
When land cards are put in the graveyard from anywhere, you gain 2 life, so your sack lands are going to trigger that.
Yep.
Beginning of your upkeep, 4 more land cards in your graveyard, which seems a lot more likely with sack lands than it does anywhere else.
The milling, you can get an engine online with this pretty quick, especially with combination of Ren and 6 and then Solar Windgrace.
Yeah.
So you recur your land with Ren and 6 from the graveyard to your hand, and then you discard it with Solar Ren Grace.
So can this go into Delve?
Maybe, because if you're milling with the Argoth land, it costs 4 to activate, though, is the thing.
Maybe that part's not great. I was curious. This feels like a card that's built for modern, not for standard.
Yeah, it does have that feel.
Just with the body, again, the gaining life when your lands go to the graveyard does not feel like a standard type thing.
Especially since they seem very not okay with doing land destruction.
Right.
Did you see the Urza's Silex? Which is weird that it's different from Karn's, but it is, because you would think that,
he's getting a different piece of the legacy.
They're the same bowl, right? Or no? Am I wrong?
No, they are the same bowl.
Yeah, see?
As far as I know.
One of them has been weakened by age, though.
Okay. But, it still doesn't take out any lands. It's just like it's all non-land permits.
Yeah. Actually, wait, is it the same bowl?
I would think.
Did the Silex burn up in the big blast at the end of Apocalypse, and then Karn did something in the interim? Because there's a large portion of story I'm missing.
He found the Silex. I assumed it was the same one. Maybe it's not.
He had the Silex at the beginning of Dominaria United.
Yeah, but
he had it already.
It made it seem like he had found it because he was there looking for it in the caves. I don't know why it would have been there. Maybe the Thran have a lot of bowls that explode.
Yeah, with that specific spell written on it.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a lore block.
It's also possible that Karn didn't know how to use it correctly.
Yeah,
seeing as all of the notes about it were destroyed.
Yeah. The Thran don't make exploding bowls. They just don't make microwave safe bowls, and then they just happen to explode. Is what it is.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No popcorn then. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So that's a cool card. We go over most of the spoilers probably next week when they're all out, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to do mostly spoiler show next week, because I think spoilers are over by then. It depends on when they're all done. Let's say that, or almost all done. I do want to bring up, though, because I had made a prediction for Dominaria United that did not come to fruition, which was Monastery Swift Spear and Dominaria United. The real bummer to not have that come true. But WotC heard me over here being salty and decided that they would just throw it into Brothers War instead. So that was the big reprint, at least in my mind, that was announced this weekend. Was
a set too late only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
This close. Fine. I won't claim any points, but I still want to point out that
you were on the right track.
I was on the track.
Hey, I agreed with you when you said it too.
Yeah.
I thought it would be too soon.
Yeah, Ben was.
And you were right.
Congratulations.
Technically, everyone was basically correct.
I mean, I was just following on Dave's coattails, but yeah.
I did want to mention one other thing about the reveals during this weekend. They are doing it's a run, I guess, similar to the Mystical Archives they did with Strixhaven, where inside the Brothers Wars booster packs, you're going to find retro artifacts. Some of these highlights, they're not standard legal, but they have the retro frame, Wormcoil Engine, Phyrexian Revoker, Howling Mine, Ivory Tower, that kind of stuff, that you can get those older artifacts. Sounds cool.
Yeah, I like the blueprint variant that they're also going to...
Oh, you like Urza's Notes from Urza's Notes?
Yeah.
It's cool. And then some of them are going to be serialized, like at 500, you'll get X out of 500 to mark it as a super special card.
Let's... Other Dave, this is just for collectors, right? There's not really...
Yep.
Why would... like? I don't get the serialization other than it just to be something for collectors to get.
Has to be.
Yep.
No other option there.
especially since it's only found in collector boosters, the serialized ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find that weird because the only thing that sets, it's not like you can only get, my understanding, always correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like they're printing 500 copies of Retro Soul Ring and then that's all you're getting, right? And then they're all serialized. There'll be serialized variants and then non-serialized variants.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. That seems odd to me, but what do I know?
Collector's Man chase cards.
I have yet to double my profits in record time, so maybe I'm the one that's not doing it right.
So yeah, those would be found in the boosters, along with the Transformers we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole post about what's inside the boosters if you want to go take a look at it in the show notes. What do you guys think about the mech basic lands? Each land has a giant mech on it.
I was just, every time they do the full art basic lands, they just get cooler. Like, I thought that when they put out the Infinity Space lands, there was going to be nothing cooler than the Infinity Space lands. And
they're still pretty wicked.
They are. I bought a Infinity booster pack this weekend while I was out with the missus and got one of the mountain on world lands.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool. The off-world ones are better, but they're still really cool, and I like them. But these mech ones, man.
Do you have a link to the mech ones?
Yeah, it's in the show notes. What's inside the Brothers War boosters? Yeah.
They
specifically the mountain where it's like the dragon is on the mountain, like built into the mountain or whatever. That one is sick.
I actually like the forest one where he's built into the tree.
Yeah, that one's sweet too.
Yeah, that one's cool. The one that I like is the island that's got like this Hulkbuster looking.
Yeah, the big got the lit up nipples. Yeah,
standing in the waves. That's one's probably my favorite from the ones they've released so far.
It's like Iron Man arc reactors for nipples.
Yeah, these are really cool. I actually don't think I like them as much as the stained glass ones or the space ones, but I still think.
What's cool about them printing all these basic lands, I think, is that you can, most decks nowadays, especially in Modern, only have one or two few basic lands. You have a wide selection of full art, awesome lands that you can kind of tailor to be more like your deck. Yeah. So that's cool. So if you had a dragon deck, you'd make this mountain one and have a dragon on it. It's cool. If you have, something to do with Phyrexian or death, then the swamp ones would be good basics for that deck rather than the Kamigawa swamps, right? Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. You can theme your deck with the basic lands.
I just like that now there are more options available to people. Because before it was like, if you wanted your full art lands, you needed your Zendikar lands, or you needed the unset lands. And now there's so many options out there.
Yep. And a lot easier to get a hold of.
Yeah, that are a lot easier to get a hold of because they're just going to keep making them every set.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, no complaints there, my friends.
More is better.
Yes. All right, well, guess we're going to wrap this show up.
I didn't realize Hercule was getting a card.
Yeah, so is Gix. We predicted that last year, week 2, last set too.
Yeah, we were
looks like Gix is finally getting a card.
Finally.
We were just a set too late early on that or whatever.
Yeah.
Dang.
Just slow down a little bit and be like, nah. Gix being in this set makes total sense versus Dominator United, actually. So, anyways, once again, I think it's time to wrap this show up. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us on Twitter at MPGPod. You can find me on my personal Twitter at BeNiceMPG. Where can they find you, moderator Dave?
They can find me on Twitter at Dave_MPG and also streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. East Coast time on our Twitch channel.
Magic Proving Grounds.
Where me and you are totally currently breaking down the modern meta and playing decks and talking through them and hopefully dispensing great information.
Yeah.
Where can you be found, Other Dave?
Sleeping in my bed.
Safe at home after your
globe-trotting adventures.
Globe-trotting adventure to Magic 30 that was not.
You might just make it in time for Magic 40. You never know.
Yeah. Start now.
Magic 40.
Also known as the midlife crisis.
Yeah, that's when the midlife crisis is going to happen at Magic 40.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still going strong.
Things can get wild. Cue the outro music.